Oh, is it morning already? I hate mornings. Everything's always so fuzzy. I really need to invent coffee here. What day is it today? Oh, holy smokes. It's Thanksgiving. I'm so excited and I have so much to do. It's my first Thanksgiving here on the ARK, and I want everything to be perfect. So I need to tidy up and take care of my morning chores as quickly as I can. As a matter of fact, it's been a busy week, making preparations and all, but, well, the daily routine of the preserve must go on. I have certain things I need to attend to, and the very first thing I do every morning before I even have a bite to eat is to come up here to Sikorsky and take a morning flight. You see, this is the best way for me to do a quick perimeter check. Notice that fence over there? Yeah, I just put it in last week. Up until that point, I was having a serious problem every day with dinosaurs escaping. I mean, confused creatures wandering off. And I'm proud to announce that since I've put that new fence in, I haven't had a single creature wander away. It's doing its job, and it's time for me to do mine. So Sikorsky and I will continue to do our morning perimeter check until we are absolutely certain that the problem is solved. Well, so far so good. I don't see any creatures that have gotten out, and nothing threatening is on the other side of the gate. Excellent. A great way to start Thanksgiving Day. Except, what's that over there? Looks like a turtle, and it appears to have gotten itself trapped next to that tree. We better take a closer look. Oh, holy smokes! That's a level 120 turtle, and a female at that. That's perfect. You don't know how badly I need a healthy female turtle in the prime of her life. I've got a plan that I'm going to be instituting over the next few weeks, and I'm going to need a turtle just like that to make it all work. Let me do a quick equipment check here. Plenty of trank arrows, narcotics, and some Argentavis toenail clippings from when I gave Avis her pedicure last night. Alright, we're ready. Step 1, let's snatch her up out of there and get her safely into the preserve. Rest easy, girl, I've got you. You're free now. Free to live a better life. Inside these walls. Now to deposit her gently on the ground and go park Sikorsky safely in his normal perch. Ah, there she is. You know, I'd let her just roam freely and peacefully here in the preserve, but since I need to breed her, I'm going to have to tame her first. All right, everyone, stand down. I've got this. Let a professional do his job. Oh, she's mad now. No, Tuxford Jr., you brave fool. I've got this. Get out of the way. That was a close one. Come here, little girl. Yep, you're in excellent health, aren't you? Not much to look at, though. Ow! You ungrateful little minx. Well, I can't blame you. That was a little harsh. I'm going to cut away for a minute because this is going to take a while. Well, she was a tough customer, but she's finally gone under, and I can set about taming her so she can better fit into her new role here in the preserve. First things first, let's get some narcotics into her. By the way, kids, don't do drugs. Drugs should only be prescribed and administered by trained professionals like myself. As I had to go get her some of her favorite turtley food, I'll slip in here through the secret entrance into the workshop's holding pen. I realized that this is going to take quite some time. Her general level of health is so high, she's going to be quite resistant to the humane taming methods that I'm about to employ. But that's okay. It'll give us time to reflect on the preparations that we've been busy making all week long. In preparation of the upcoming holidays, we've added several new faces to the preserve. Well, that's Doe, a deer, a female deer. Ray, her husband, is nearby. Early this week, we installed and tested our brand new state-of-the-art hatching facility. Equipped with the very latest in climate control technology, we should be able to hatch any dinosaur egg that we like. We've spared no expense. Everything works like a charm, and before you know it, we have a brand new, incredibly small and incredibly slow baby Dimorphodon inching its way across the compound and into the workshed. Her color should change soon, and baby Dimorphodons mature very quickly. She and Tuxford Jr. should hit adulthood at about the same time. In fact, here she is in all of her adult glory. She was the first successful test of our hatching facility, and I do good work if I do say so myself. We spent a fond few hours bonding while going through some drills on how to successfully launch from my shoulder to tear out the throat of any potential targets below. It's my hope that this will help avoid any improvisational skydiving incidents in the future. And then it was time to let her join the rest of the murder of Dimorphodons. I've named her Princess Tiny Feet, and I'm sure she'll be very popular with her peers. Likewise, it was time to let the newly adult Tuxford Jr. stretch his legs and join the rest of his flock out in the preserve. He has earned the right to vie with and potentially maim his father in his pursuit of becoming the alpha male of the flock. The circle of life is truly a beautiful thing to behold. It was while I was watching Tuxford in his confused attempts to acclimate himself to his new surroundings that I noticed another problem that the preserve has. The animals get stuck on the trees and shrubbery around the preserve, and perhaps they're mildly disoriented by the surrounding walls. I don't know the true reason why, but it's an ongoing problem. I have since come up with a solution to this problem. I noticed that pteranodons seem to be able to slip through those small trees as if they aren't even there. So I simply have the larger animals, the ones that are big enough to break those trees and knock them down, I have them trained now to follow the pteranodons around the compound. They flatten most of the trees, free any stuck animals, and I'm free to do the other crucial tasks necessary to keep the compound running. Unfortunately, at the time, I hadn't figured any of this out yet, so I had to grab Sikorsky and free them all manually. Sounds like it's time for a montage. Yes, keeping the preserve running can be a lot of work. I'm sure you've noticed that there's a turtle or two running around at the time that this video was recorded. Well, they're not around now because they're busy on a secret mission. The mission that's part of the plan that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. But we'll cover that in a later episode, when the time is right. Sometimes my quest to populate the preserve with strange new species of wildlife involves long treks halfway across the ARK and intense periods of study to learn the habits of dangerous and exotic creatures, like these, the Compy. Well, they may look cute and cuddly doing their little ritualistic dance of death over there, but when they're in a pack they can be extremely dangerous. And although this expedition took me the better part of a day and involved crossing vast tracts of uncharted territory, my quest that day ultimately was unfulfilled. I was not able to successfully capture one and get it back alive. I learned too late that during the taming process they will only consume prime meat. That and the fact that the only place I spotted them was a great distance away from the reserve complicated the issue immensely, and so at the end of the day I finally had to head back, and I had to resign myself to the fact that I just wasn't going to be able to capture one of these magnificent little savages that day. That is, until I finally got back to the compound and had started to do some more of my regular chores, when my young daughter, whom you will come to know eventually as Tiny Viking, asked me, "Father One, what is that small dinosaur behind you?" And I looked down and, lo and behold, there was one of the little monsters following me around my own compound, inside the workshed pen. Apparently he'd fallen off the surrounding cliffs and was following me around out of a sense of curiosity. Closer examination revealed that the hills around the preserve are teeming with the little devils. They had just been too difficult to see through the dense treetop canopy. I took that as welcome news at the time, but I have to admit, Compys are a little creepy. Still, all the more reason to form a small army of them of my own, and they're a welcome addition to our community. And speaking of welcome additions, this petite little thing is a baby direwolf. She showed up just before dawn a couple of days ago. Her father's name is Wee Black Doggy, and her mother is Cocoa Cream, both of whom are relatively new additions to the preserve themselves. Now you may ask me, Ranger 1, why is there so much difference in the type of names that your animals have there in the preserve? Well, I tend to name the animals that are captured. Not always, but usually. But more frequently the youngsters, the babies that are born on the preserve, I allow Tiny Viking to name. This one she's going to end up naming Piffle, or Fluffle, or Fluffy, something like that. And I think that'll do. She's so cute. Look at that face only a mother could love. It looks like she just wants to rip your nose right off. And talk about an appetite. I had to go on hunting trip after hunting trip after hunting trip. She ended up consuming tons of meat just in the baby stage alone. Oh wait, no, Wee Black Doggy, you can't come with me. You've got to stay here. You have responsibilities now. Shame on you. Get back in there. I should have taken my friend Rose Tyler's advice and named you Bad Wolf. Bad Wolf. Get in there. Okay. Well, anyway, this new little addition is going to be one more reason to celebrate this Thanksgiving, and of course, one more hungry mouth to feed. Keeping the preserve running smoothly is, well, it's a serious challenge and responsibility at any time of year, let alone at the holidays. But it's one that I gladly accept. And speaking of responsibilities, back to the present, as I'm busy taming this turtle, I found something on the way out to the gate. A fertilized stego egg. This happens sometimes, unauthorized breeding, but I really don't mind. But if it's going to survive, I need to take it under my wing. The parents, Buffy and Spike, will probably not make good parents. Buffy seems a little self-absorbed, and Spike just follows her around like a little lost puppy dog. I had been a little concerned about Spike. He'd been putting on a lot of weight, but I'm happy to say that the paleo diet I recently put him on seems to be paying dividends nicely. I had been concerned that perhaps introducing this new female stegosaurus into the mix would cause issues for Spike and Buffy, but Willow seems to be completely indifferent to the presence of a male stegosaurus. I had had hopes of breeding her for some high-level offspring, but I don't think she likes boys. Two other new faces we'll see around the preserve for the holidays are Miner 49er and his daughter, Clementine. Now, you may not think that Clementine is much of a fashion plate, but as far as ankylosauruses go, she's a real looker. Not to mention the fact that when you have a small catastrophe on your hands, like getting your cat stuck up in a tree, she can come in pretty darn handy. Get down from there. Get down! Good boy. Well, that's enough of a recap of the events of the week leading up to Thanksgiving. I've just finished taming that turtle we started at the beginning of the video. The taming process went well, and she's extremely high level, and I've decided to name her Shelly. And she's now freely wandering the waterways and beaches of the preserve. Now all I need to do is find a relatively high-level male turtle or two, and Shelly can start living a, shall we say, very productive life. Now that the unexpected chores are out of the way, I can devote my time to putting together this holiday shindig. But I keep having this nagging feeling that I'm forgetting something. Well, whatever it is, it's going to have to wait. I've got to select a main course and get dinner started. Well, maybe. This Dimorphodon looks a little bit scrawny to me. I had heard rumors that there were turkeys spotted on the ARK recently, but I don't buy that. The ARK is populated with extinct creatures, and although turkeys are stupid enough to definitely deserve to be extinct, unfortunately, they're not. So I'm going to write that one off as just a popular myth. Maybe if I made a really good gravy and... Well, do you mind? I'm trying to make a dinner selection here. How rude. Well, maybe with the right long grass stuffing, possibly some mashed savor root on the side. I don't know. I just don't know. Well, I'm going to have to ponder this decision for a little bit. There seems to be some sort of commotion I'm going to have to go deal with. Oh, and there it is. Monkeys. Little tiny, filthy monkeys. Now, some people think that these little fellas are cute and that they make good pets, but I have to disagree. They're dirty, vicious, poo-slinging, highly paranoid little freaks that simply won't tame the normal way. To top it off, they have a penchant for getting into your home or compound, and on their way out, they like to leave the doors hanging wide open. Unfortunately, these furry little beasts tend to find their way into my compound on a regular basis, and I'm going to have to make a decision about what to do with them in the near future. The future. I just realized what I've been forgetting. That baby stego is about to be hatched, and I need to get in there ASAP. I hope I'm not too late. Oh, just barely in time. Let's imprint on it real quick. I'll name it in a minute. Let's get some food into this little one. Come on. There we go. Alright, you're going to be just fine now. Poor little thing. If I had forgotten for a moment longer, it might have been too late. It's pretty fortunate that I was able to get in here in time. How appropriate on Thanksgiving Day. As a matter of fact, that seems like an ideal name for this little one. Thanksgiving. not Thanksgiving, Thanksgiving. There we go. The perfect name for a perfect baby boy. All right, Junior, come on, let's go. Well, it takes a while to get Thanksgiving into the house for safekeeping. At this age, he doesn't go anywhere very fast. And that's a little bit of a problem. While I'm pleased to welcome him into the world, Thanksgiving's timing could have been a little better. I really don't have time to hand feed a youngster like this on a busy day like today. I've got a dinner to plan and cook, a place to set, invitations to send out, and another chair to build in case I have guests. I hate to say it, Thanksgiving, but your arrival has kind of put me in a little bit of a spot. I still have a full menu I need to put together. Thanksgiving. You know, I may just have a solution. Well, this is going to solve a lot of problems, but you might want to look away. Yep, the solution was obvious once I thought about it. I got rid of my monkey problem and provided Thanksgiving dinner for myself and my carnivorous animal friends. Her boyfriend's over on the spit right now, slow roasting, and she's about to be turned into monkey loaf. And I'm calling dibs right now on the opposable thumbs. I think I've started a brand new holiday tradition here on the ARK. What about baby Thanksgiving, you ask? Oh, he's fine. He's just over there at the kids' table. I'm keeping him close at hand so I can hand feed him and continue with my preparations for Thanksgiving dinner. He's growing like a weed, and I'm very pleased to have him as the newest addition to the preserve. Oh, come on, you guys. You didn't think that I... Now, I may be a realist, but even I am not going to kill a cute, cuddly little creature like this for Thanksgiving dinner. What kind of monster do you think I am? I love all of the animals here on the ARK. Well, except for monkeys. All right, come on, Thanksgiving. Eat your cranberries. Come on. They're good for you. Open wide. Oh, come on, don't be stubborn. Just try it. You'll like it, really. It's better. I'd make you some pumpkin pie for dessert, but they all seem to have disappeared after the last update. Well, there you have it. I hope this gave you some insight into the daily workings of Ranger 1's Animal Preserve and the preparations that we made for our first very important Thanksgiving here. And I do have oh so much to be thankful for. The creatures here provide food and clothing to help me maintain my existence, and in my own humble way, I'm hoping that I can give back just a little bit of that in return. That's all I have for you for this episode. Here's wishing you and yours a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And until I see you again, good hunting. Thanks for watching. I hope you were entertained. If you liked the video, please remember to subscribe. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you. And I'll see you next time.